Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gearblocks. The last video I was working on the Peach a bit, did a bit of work on the lifted 4-door variant, and I'm pretty happy with how it is at the moment. For the most part. I've ended up doing some of the, glitch welding, I'll call it, just to make certain pieces look better, like the track bar and drag link, and then same with the back. And other than the drive shaft, just because of limitations and I don't like doing the part bridging, it's turning out good so far. But I wanted to start a new pickup truck with some of the little tricks and techniques and stuff I've learned working on other things. Another quick side note, I've shown this thing in a couple other videos and I felt it was too narrow, so I widened it by 2 blocks and it looks a lot better now. Things like the Peach will actually fit in the back of it. But either way, for this other truck, or this new truck, I'm going to use these axles for it. And it's just going to be a normal 4x4. Oops. I didn't want to spawn that axle twice. There we go. I have 2 versions of these axles. There's this version. Excuse me. And then there's another version with pass-throughs, so that you can have multiple. But this just being a normal pickup truck, I'm just doing this normally. I do want to use leaf springs, at least on the rear, but I'll likely put them all the way around. And I'm going to do that so I can get the leaf springs into the same spot. I need to put on the wheels that I plan on using so that I can get the length of the leaf springs proper. Is that lined up right? Yep, okay. I only need 2 wheels at the moment. And I should probably lengthen this and get them a little further away just so I can have more space to measure out the leaf springs and stuff. Okay, JKL, L, leaf spring. I want leaf spring number 2. And I'm not sure how this is lengthwise. Actually, that should be just fine lengthwise. And I kinda want it to the outside more. How wide is my chassis on this? Frame rail 9. If that's 9, the Peach is 7. So if I go like this, I'm just gonna put them there like that so I can measure. This is going to be way too narrow. That's only like 5. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to turn the leaf springs around. And I want to also change the pivot point for the steering and whatnot. So let's take that off. I also wanted to remove that. That goes down on the tie rod. And then I'm going to see if I can... Ooh, see, that part has to be through something like that. So if I grab the cylinder, put that there, I should be able to do something like that. But I need to make sure there's enough sticking out. Oh, there's more than enough sticking out. Make that rotate. And then I can move that in. I'm just gonna unlock a bunch of stuff. Make sure all of this is set to false. Should I do the ball joint on this end, or? I usually put the ball on the axle side, so this side needs to be the socket. So if I go like that, and then grab a couple of those, I can extend... Ooh, just remove that for the moment. Extend the axle out. Bring this over. Ooh. Okay. I need to do this a little differently. What if I kind of go like that? That still doesn't really look right. So I'm just going to have these butt up against each other. And make sure that doesn't connect. And this will just give it better steering geometry and stuff. I should also bring the wheel in by one like that, which means I need to move all of this out by one more block. Because the wheel goes there. So I'm going to... whatever. I'm gonna do that. That should put the wheel in the right spot still. Bring this out by one more. Whoops. And there we go. That should keep the right width, but move the steering point within the wheel just so it works a little bit better and how I would rather it work. I don't like it when the steering axis is way out here, especially like on a go-kart. I think it's weird. It puts bad forces on the joints and so on. And especially in real life, it just looks really bad, in my opinion. So I'm going to do that. And then I need to do it on this side as well. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay. That should be that. I now need to figure out how I'm going to do the steering. Since these are this way, the cup bit is going to limit the steering lock, but not too much. So I could just bring a socket out like so. Keep it within the wheel. That's cutting it close. I also want the tie rod to connect in the right spot, like in line with these, just to keep it all moving proper. That's also going to clip into that, so I'll angle it somehow. I have an idea. That should all be fine. I need to grab the weird cab over Jeep thing that I've also been working on redoing this thing. The weird stubby four-door. I need... Oh, that doesn't attach properly. Okay, I need the one that's on the side, as this one does attach properly. So I need to bring this out. I don't like having this angled. And then... I could lower it by a block. If I lower it by a block, or raise it by a block, that would work a bit better. So let's grab axle. Stick that there. Grab a rounded beam. And go like that. And then bring that out. How does that work with that? That collides even worse now. Okay. I'm not going to do that. I'll just put that there. This can go here. I wish the differentials weren't so big. And then I can either bring this up and over, or I can bring it forwards and around. So let's try bringing it forwards and around first. Make sure this is all set to no collision. And then if I use these angles, I should be able to yeah. Alright, that goes back straight. And then once I have everything lined up, I can just use the weld tool to make it look a bit better. And of course that doesn't actually line up. I can't stand that. Okay. So for the sake of making this look decent, how do I want to do this? I like using the cylinders because then I can paint it and stuff, but I'd also like to keep it simple looking, I guess. And the axles are also a bit too long, as you can see. I do this. Yeah, that still doesn't really work how I want it to. I can do that. It's just not gonna look the greatest. I hate when it does that. Man, that looks terrible. I'm not good enough yet to make this look better, so I think I will just do what I need to get my point, or not my point, but do what I need to get my idea out of my head. And then I will try and clean it up and make it look better at some other point. I want this piece to be right in the middle. So, I'm just gonna grab this. That's not quite gonna work. Go. That one is too long. Okay, so take out those. Remove that. And that. Make sure this is all set to false before I go welding it. Actually, I don't need these ones. Wow, I'm making quite a mess. I can just do this for that one. And then I can attach the stabilizer to the end piece at the very end, and then the tie rod, or drag link, sorry, on the other end, up on top of it. By the way, I need to get rid of parts collisions. I wish the weld tool used a different button, because the collision and weld tool both use tap. I might be able to change that in settings. I don't think so. Oh, there's quick save. That's nice. I did not realize that. But yeah, there's no way to rebind those as far as I'm aware, so that goes to that, that goes to that, that goes to that, that goes to that. Lock it all in place, and there we go. We have a crappy looking tie rod. I don't like having it bent like that. I feel like it would reduce the strength, but there are vehicles that have bent tie rods like that. What else? I now need the steering stabilizer, which is this thing. And it goes on this side, and it can actually tuck in there nicely. Sweet. I need to change what end is on it, though. It needs the ball. So that'll go there. Make sure it's all set. Oops, I don't need the weld tool. I need parts collision. Okay. Then grab another socket. Put it like that. And then again, I'm just gonna use the weld tool, which is a little annoying. Weld that to that. Now when I unfreeze it, it should be fine. And it is. Except, ooh, okay. That is going to fall down. So I need to find a better way to do this part. What joints do I have? Work. I could just leave it for now, but I don't like how the steering is going to be on an angle like that. That's going to mess with things really bad. Why is that? Rotate and lock. Rotate and lock. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's gonna cause some issues if I do that. Actually, if I change this end, like so, that needs to be that way. And then I wish I could make the custom one long axles, but I don't know how. Again, weld tools in the way. Actually, can I? No, I don't think I can change that. But if I go like this, it should be okay for now. There we go. That'll hold it up where I want it to be. Should be able to just walk through everything. Okay, something isn't... There's a couple of things that aren't set to false. It should be okay. There we go. So there's the new front axle. I just need to make it look better. So if anyone knows how I can change this up and make it look better, please let me know. And I don't want to use any creations from the workshop because I'd like to upload more of my own creations. And I don't want to use other people's parts in creations that I upload. Because there's like permissions and stuff that goes along with that and so on and so forth. Stick all this together so I can just delete it all at once. The rear axle I don't need to do any of this with. Thankfully. That tie rod can go. Keep that just in case. That can go. And that whole thing can go because I'm working on a completely new version of it. Okay, so there's that. The rear axle should be fine in width. I now need to place the leaf springs so that they are 5 blocks apart. I'll make sure they move stuff properly after. And I'm probably going to redo, or I will completely redo the chassis after as well. Brain is not working right at the moment. Okay, so I need a 7 wide chassis. Like so. Line those up. Where do they fit on the axle? That is centered. I feel like I can go wider than that. But this gives me plenty of space for sway bar and shocks. So I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm going to rotate them though. Okay, let's put that there. It's 1 block over, 1 block over, okay. This needs to go there, I think. And that should still be... Yep, okay. And then I can put shock, sway bar. We'll see. Okay. That can just come across here for now, just to kind of hold it in position. And then I would like to use the medium pistons for the coils, or not the coilovers, but the shocks. They're gonna be too wide, too long, sorry. I'd like to have a lot of suspension travel, is what I'm getting at. I'd like to have like 2 blocks up, 2 blocks down. So if I mount this kind of low on the axle, and have the hoop up there, that technically would work fine. So let's grab that. Set that on false. I just don't want to have them too low under the axle, because then they'll affect the ride height. Or not the ride height, but the ground clearance. There go my allergies making me sound weird again. I'll mute my mic and clear my throat in a minute. Actually, I'm out of time for today's video anyways. Okay, so that needs to rotate, that needs to rotate, and yeah, I'm at 30 minutes, so I gotta finish this up for right now anyways. Like I said, if anyone watching this happens to know of better ways to do what I'm doing, please let me know. Any advice would be helpful, especially making this look better. Just little things. I will be making the chassis up 1 block higher from there, I think. Figure out some way to get more movement out of the axle. I could also put the leaf springs on the bottom of the axle, which I haven't done yet. So far, every build that I've done that has leaf springs, I've always put them on top of the axle, rather than on the bottom. Typically for a vehicle with more ride height, you want them on the top. But if I put them on the bottom, actually, if I set this up, I'm going to do something really quick and then I'll end the video, but if I bring that down and then switch out these shackles for the sloped plate, I can make it so that using the spring settings, I can set it so that the ride height is 1 block lower, and then that should allow me to have 2 blocks down from there and then 2 blocks up from there. And then having the shackle like this, as the distance gets shorter from it bending, it'll line up properly, which would be going like that, or like that, however I feel like doing it. I'll probably do it that way, and then it'll help keep that angle straight down. I also might, or I likely will, make the leaf springs a little bit longer, but that's something for next episode, or I might do it quickly off camera. But either way, I could also make the chassis thinner. Whatever. I will think about this more in the next video next week. So, as usual, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, anything you want me to check out, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I would like to do community. I'd like to but get back into doing community builds on Scrap Mechanic, and I'd really like to start doing community builds on this as well. But either way, as always, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.